Good morning. Well, it's morning where I am in the world. Hello, my darlings. How the heck are you? It is so lovely to be here today. So, my darlings, welcome to my weekly chat and my weekly check-in. I hope you are having a good week. Whether you're at home folding laundry or trying to wrangle kids or pets, or you've had a really tough week and you're having a bit of a cry somewhere quiet, you're in the right place. This space I set up so that every single week I come here and we chit chat. And you are welcome to ask me questions or just listen in if you prefer to. And this space is for some of the harder moments, but also for a little bit of light information from time to time where we have a bit of a chuckle and chat. So, welcome, welcome, welcome to my table. I know you're all busy. Aren't we all busy, ladies? Yes, we are. We're all very, very busy. So I'll invite you to take a moment with me. Big breath in and out. And in and out. And let's check in. How are we going this week? 0 from 10, as per usual. 0. Life could be a little bit of a bag of poo right now. Or 10, absolutely bloody fantastic. Which is it for you right now? For me, I'm probably sitting at a solid 8, and I have been for the entire week. So let me know in the comments where you're sitting at, how you're feeling. If you're new here, please let me know that you're brand new so I can shout out to you and say hello. I only use people's first names, and the chat does vanish, I believe, after we've had this chat. So that's always helpful if you want a bit of anonymity. Good morning, Sarah. You're a solid 9. Love it. That's really nice. And Mary, you're at a 6. 6 isn't too bad either. So good morning to the ladies, and glad to hear that your numbers are up a little high. Good morning, Miss Kathy, and thank you for the sunshine and the beautiful sunflowers. I have sunflowers growing in my garden this morning. Quite a lot of them because, spring is in the air. So while I wait for questions and people to come and join, like I said, if you've got questions for me, let me know. I would be more than happy to answer your questions. But let's talk about the week that was. Well, my week was pretty quiet. Nothing dramatic, thank goodness. Nothing dramatic at all. And it's been a year, we're at towards the end of September. And I would say that every single week this year, there has been something relatively big that's happened. This week, nothing much. And I don't know about you lot, but the pause can feel really intriguing, different, challenging, right? The pause and noticing the pause can feel a bit uneasy. For me, over the years, what I've learned is the pause is divine. Like, I just inhale it. I love the quietness. I love the fact that nothing's going on. I love the fact that nothing big has happened. And I try and really get into the present moment and just go, I'm going to savor this little morsel. I don't know how long it's going to last for, but I'm going to savor every second. But I know for some of you, what happens is you get to a pause, and some of you start to get really uncomfortable in the pause. And let me know in the chat what sort of things come up for you. Is it that you are waiting for something to come, so you're on edge and a bit tense the whole time? Is it that you think, yeah, it's quiet now, but I can't enjoy it because something awful is going to happen soon? So let me know in the comments which one it is for you. For me, I know that healing is often happening when nothing is moving in my life, when everything has gone very still. It's like those baubles that Kathy loves, the ones you shake for Christmas, and all the snow is all going everywhere, and then it gradually stops and settles. And I think for me, that I know is the healing time, when there's nothing going on at all, where there's no drama or upset or thing I've got to attend to, and I can just be where I'm at. So let me know how it feels for you, my darlings. And good morning. Good morning, Sandra. You're saying it's been a while since you've caught me live. Well, glad to have you with us, my love. I hope you are well. Who else is here? Oops, I've got little things coming up. Gemma. Hello, Gemma. I was seeing pictures of your little fellow the other day. It came up on my feed, which is so nice to see. Waiting for nothing or good news. Got more bad news yesterday and again today, very stressed. And again, Sarah, and we've talked about this, when it's just relentless. And I think this year has been like that for a lot of people, when it's been this relentless barrage of things that have come up, and then you just get through one, or you haven't even gotten through it, and the next thing comes, and the next thing comes, and the next thing comes. And it can be breathtakingly stressful. For me, you know, when it settles, like I said, like those snow globes, and it settles, I'm like, okay, this is my moment for my nervous system to try to come back to a normal space. You know what I mean? To try and come back, whatever normal is, but to try and come back to a calmer, more gentle, softer space. I know for some, if you've been going through a separation or affair, what happens is there's so much for so long, like 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, sometimes 2 years. And so your nervous system really gets caught up in the drama and the upset and the stress of all of that. So all the chemicals that are raging up, like cortisol, which is a stress hormone, those just really hijack your system. And when things calm down, you don't necessarily start to just naturally come down and the cortisol dropping. You have to really work on going, I'm going to take this moment and I'm going to actually be in this moment, rest in this moment, look after myself in this moment, and that will be standing me in good stead for when the next thing comes, because there's always something else, right? That's just part of being a human, right? That the next thing does come. Yeah, difficult things when we have health issues, really challenging. And cortisol is really important, like it impacts us. All of us need cortisol. All of us need a level of stress. That's how we achieve some of the most amazing things in our lives. Sometimes, but when stress is ongoing, unrelenting, really hardcore, we can have issues with chemicals in our body like cortisol, and it can just really knock us around. So it's important in the quieter moments to be able to bring your body back in and get those levels down. And there's lots of great ways of doing that. You know, mindfulness practice is really good. Lots of self-care is good. Just slowing down, you know, slowing and taking in the view, or smelling a flower, or taking a quiet walk, or having a really gorgeous warm bath or warm shower, just tiny little things, drinking a cup of tea or coffee and just slowing down and enjoying it. They can all be really, really good things to do. Small progress is really what it's about, right? And you know, ladies, if you know me, and a lot of you do, that I'm all about those really small little micro wins that you have. You know, maybe it's a better night's sleep, maybe you ate something healthful, maybe you did go for a 5-minute walk, maybe you stopped and did some breathing. Those micro, small, tiny things, they all add up, and they do help us to just feel a bit softer in our bodies, in our being. And so it's really important to try and take the moments that we can. It's hard when there is just an unrelenting pounding of things, and you know, the globe feels like it's on fire to me, and it's challenging. I'm in Australia, where there are some small things happening, but not like some of the things I'm seeing globally. And you know, we live in a world that is interconnected. I don't care where we live in the world. What happens in other countries does impact us in the country we're in. And so it's just kind of really important for us to take breaks from some of that really pounding news footage that is unrelenting and stressful and challenging, and take some time to get back into nature. You know, I live in bare feet most of the time. I live in my garden as much as I possibly can. And the garden reminds me of so much. You know, it reminds me that roots form long before shoots appear. You know, putting your roots in the ground, feeling the earth beneath your feet, doing things where you can't see a result today, and thinking maybe this doesn't help, it's not worthwhile, why bother? But I know for a fact that the roots are growing. You know, the roots are growing vigorously under the ground before the shoot can appear, because without the roots, it's going to die. Same when you're repotting or uppotting things, you know, you've got to give them time. They usually look like they're dead long before they look like they're alive. I did a lot of cuttings at the weekend, and they're looking dreadful today. They all look very much the worse for wear. But I just trust in the process. I know that the roots will bring them through, and I've got to baby them a little bit. I've got to make sure they have plenty of water, try and keep them out direct sunlight, give them the conditions that are going to help them start to come back. And that's exactly the same as it is in our lives. You know, the roots are forming long before the shoots appear. We get stronger. We feel like we can keep going longer, long before we actually notice it. Other people generally notice it long before we do. I've been writing out more of my series, the After an Affair series and the Heartbreak to Healing series in the last week. And, talking on there about, how we have to just trust the process, how we have to know that even though we can't see what's coming, even though we don't understand what's going on, there is a rhythm to what we're doing. And it is going to get us where we're supposed to be. And trusting that process can feel so damn hard because we want to be at the other side of the heartbreak and the sadness and the upset. And let me know if you have been feeling that, Yeah, Sarah, naming your small wins at night time before you go to bed in a ritual is so important. Like gratitude, noticing and being grateful. I've been sleeping really well. I've been doing some hardcore health stuff in the last few weeks. And in the first week, it was awful. I can't tell you, I didn't enjoy it at all. But I'm really reaping the benefits at sticking at it and just going, there will come a time when this feels better. There'll come a time when it's not so bloody awful. There'll come a time when it doesn't feel like I'm climbing uphill with friggin' lead in my backpack. And I think we all have to remember that just take the next right step. Pause when you need to, breathe when you need to, sit down if you have to, but don't stop. Just keep moving forward, one teeny tiny little step at a time, because that makes all the difference. And in those really dark, heavy, unrelenting moments when things are hitting us and it feels like a Gatling gun, there's just so much hitting us over and over and over and over and over at speed. And we're kind of like, gosh, the fatigue is killing me with this stuff. That's the moment where we have to stop and go, it's okay. It's okay for me to slow down. It's okay for me to stop for a minute. It's okay for me to ask for help. It's okay for me to collapse in a heap and have a good solid cry and say, this is too hard for me. And when we're done, wipe our face and go, okay, I'm going to stand up next. And then I'll see how I feel once I'm on my feet. I'm going to take one tiny ginger step forward, and then I'm going to see how it feels. And that's what's really important, as much as it is incredibly hard to do. Jolanta, I'm not going through difficult relationship with emotional abuse. I'm trying to either end or repair. And that is not any different. Jolanta, it's not. Ending a relationship is just as hard as having somebody hurt you. If you care about somebody and you're in that place of going, do I stay or do I go? What am I going to do? Can we fix this? And I talk about this actually, I think in today's video that's already been posted, I think, when we're in a place of making a decision about something, our brains do not enjoy not knowing. We don't like that. We like certainty about things. So when there's a lot of uncertainty, our system doesn't enjoy that. So trying to work out, do I leave this space or do I try and fix it? And Jolanta, one of the things that's really important is your decision-making process. How do you come to your decision? And I always say, is it made from fear or love? And that's not for the other, that's for the self. Am I scared to leave because I'm going to be alone? Am I scared to leave because financially that's going to impact me? Am I scared to leave because I've never been single before? Am I scared to leave because it will make my future unpredictable? Or is this the best thing for me, even though I may still love this person, even though this person is a good person, but I just don't love them anymore? Maybe I've outgrown them. Maybe they did something that I thought, that's really grinding against my value system and I can't allow that to happen. Or maybe it's where we're at. Maybe we got complacent and maybe things got boring and maybe we stopped making an effort. So there's lots and lots and lots of different things that bring relationships to an end. And incidentally, of course, I should mention that women generally leave relationships, not men. There is a much higher proportion of women that leave men. But making those decisions aren't easy ones. And again, what I'd encourage you to do, Jolanta, is really sit and think about, where am I coming from in this? From a space of real honesty, which is challenging. But I'm not here about pop psychology and crowns and shiny bloody glowing up. I'm not about that. I'm about sit down and be pragmatic. Get a piece of paper and write it down. What are my reasons for leaving? What are my reasons for staying? Where's the evidence supporting the choice to stay? And what's the evidence to support the choice to leave? And another little thing that I suggest to people is this. When you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, am I leaving today? If the answer is no, you do not have to think about leaving or staying today because you've made the answer. You've gone, you know what, today I'm staying. One day you will wake up, and if you're going to leave, you'll ask yourself the question, am I leaving or am I staying? And the answer will be, I'm leaving. And you don't have to worry about that because then you've made the decision. So we don't have to churn in it and get pulled into it, but allow time to think about it, allow time to sit with it, and then make your decision. And it's okay. It's okay to do that. I'm not scared anymore to be single. I care and love myself now. That's really wonderful, sweetie. Sadly, after 2 years of hope that he will cherish me finally. Yeah, and I don't know if you know this, but the average time it takes to decide to leave somebody is about 2 years. So we often will begin asking, you know, are you invested? Do you want this? Let's try. This is not working. And maybe we do that for a while and there's a short change and then things go back. And then we prod and poke. I think we need help. Should we go and see someone? And maybe that brings things back for a little while. But then we get to the point where we go, is this lasting change or is this short-term change to placate me, to pacify me, to get me back on track, where we go back into our regular rhythm? Please understand, ladies, and this is really important for all of us, is that if you don't do anything different, everything will stay the same. So when somebody says, I really want to be here, this is really important to me, this is what I want, unless they're doing something different. Now, to do something different, you have to know how to do something different. And if you don't know how to do something different, you can't change it. So it's just really important to learn how. This channel talks about the how a lot. How to get through relationships ending, how to decide what you want to do next, how to learn to love yourself, how to handle an affair, how to be single after decades. I'm all about the how, and learning how is really important. And then taking action, awareness, acceptance, and action, the three incredibly important parts of anything in our lives. Awareness, I know this isn't good. Acceptance, this is where I'm at. Action, what am I going to do? Very important. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you're not new, hello, you gorgeous thing. I'm just going to quickly say that on this channel, you will find on this side of the screen, once my video is finished, more of my lives, my past lives. You can go and have a look at those. You can also go have a little peep at my poetry. My poetry is lovely, I think, and that's on my channel. It's in a little playlist of poems, and there's some lovely ones up there that will be tear jerkers, and they're all about life and the way I have lived my life and some of the dramas and upsets and things that have come in, and of course some of the funny stuff that makes me chuckle. Also on my channel, there are playlists at the top. One is After an Affair. The second is Heartbreak to Healing. And I'm working on 2 more series for you. So those 2 series are about halfway through, and they're downloaded every week. There's a new chapter that comes into those. I've got a store at the top of my page with some survival guides if you need instant help on something. They're very inexpensive and designed to give you some really practical, pragmatic hows. How do I get to sleep? How do I stop crying? How do I not text him at 2 o'clock in the morning? And all those kinds of things, and helping to explain the process and the journey of grief and letting go. So you'll find all of those. Of course, as I ask every week, because as you probably already know, I'm learning how to do this YouTube thing. It may surprise you, but I'm not 20. And so for me, it's a bit challenging, but I'm learning on this platform. So if you subscribe to the channel, if you hit the notification bell, if you give me a thumbs up for something, even a thumbs down actually counts as good, or you leave a comment, and I do read all of the comments and try and respond to all of them, then that would really help me out enormously. And I'm here every single week to answer your questions. If you've got questions for me, come along on a Thursday. I'll happily answer as many as I can. So that's my little plug. Thank you, ladies. So let me see, Sandra, my darling, you helped me 3 years ago when I was going through grief and losing my son and trying to leave my abusive marriage at the same time. Out of the marriage now, I'm doing a lot better. And Sandra, you know, in those dark moments, we believe with our whole heart it is never going to get better. Losing a child is one of the most painful, challenging, breathtaking things I think in the world. And for those who know me, you know I have a child with a life-threatening illness, and it is I can't imagine the pain of that. I have in my mind imagine the pain, but I can't really truly imagine. I am so pleased that you are feeling a little bit like you've got your feet back on solid ground again, and I'm glad I was able to help you. That's what it's all about for me. This is why I do the work that I do. You know, I have been blessed to walk beside some of the most beautiful women in the world. Some of them are here right now. Mary is here, who I happily walk beside, who makes me chuckle. She's delicious. The gorgeous Sarah, who has had a freaking really challenging year. It has been breathtakingly hard for her. The gorgeous Gemma, who I have seen through so many of life's ups and downs, to the point of her having a beautiful little baby and me making myself a grandma, even though I'm technically not related to her in any way, and we've just walked beside each other in her hardest times. So, you know, you beautiful lot, it's so wonderful to be part of your story and part of your journey, and I appreciate it. And of course, the delicious Miss Kathy, who is a coach in my membership, who just brings so much joy to everybody's life, but especially mine, and who is just salivating at the thought of Christmas coming in weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks time. Miss Kathy does love a Christmas. You loved every minute of it. And yeah, Jim, you know what I mean? You're so gorgeous. I saw the little one. You were doing something with, I think it was your little fellow with a dog the other day. I saw that on the internet. And isn't he growing? Gosh. And you appreciate me, Mary. That's really lovely. Thank you, my darlings. I do appreciate you. And I think that's what community is about, right? And that's why I have my membership. That's why I have forums like this, because I think when life is tough, when we are struggling, when life is, you know, breathtakingly painful, having a community of women who get it, number one, is really important, where there is no judgment, which very few of us have the blessing of living in a judgment-free space. Most of our friends and family will judge. Most of our friends and family will want to offer their advice to us, oftentimes really based on their own pain and suffering and their own lived experience, which is not always helpful. So being in community with others is really something special, like it really is. You adopted a dog, Jem. He certainly is. We're on the move with the walk now. Well, enjoy your walk. I can see that you're listening in while you're taking the baby and the dog for a walk. And that's one of the gorgeous things about the internet, isn't it? There is lots of nasty on here, but some of the good things are things like this, where you can be anywhere with a telephone and you can actually listen into things, be inspired by things, feel you are in community. It's just really important. This community of women has been so helpful for me. It's the only support that I have now. And we're so grateful to have you in our community, Sarah. You know, you have done so much personal work. I have watched you as you move through this process, and I've watched you as you struggle and try and, you know, get your head above ground. And I know it's been a really tough year for you, but we all have you, darling. Like, we all have got you. So lean on us. We're going to be here forever. I mean, he's walking out. Oh, the baby's walking now. All right. I got it wrong, Jem. Sorry about that. Sandra, the price of the membership. Sandra, if you want to, you can email me at admin@debbiecarberry.com.au, or you can leave a comment on another post, because these comments won't come up, and I can give you some information if you're interested in it. We do have lots of ways of supporting people. We have the gorgeous Miss Kathy runs a self-soothing class once a month, which is all about teaching you how to just settle your nervous system down and come back into yourself. We do those every single month, and that is very inexpensive. It's $5 to attend that. And Kathy has a replay for that, as well as a little handout that goes with it. We have the survival guides in the shop. We also have the membership program. I'm going to be opening a membership here on YouTube too, but that is a bit further down the track. As I said, I'm just getting my training wheels on this platform. So I'm trying to get my head around this platform. It's challenging. It's a very challenging platform, but I'm getting there. Do you know what I mean? So it's about progress, not perfection. So Sandra, my darling, if you want to get in touch with me or leave a message on any other video, just saying, hey, Debbie, can you reach out to me? You can get me on Facebook and just message me direct. I don't think there is a direct message on YouTube. Somebody might be able to tell me whether there is or not, but I don't know if there is. But yeah, I'm more than happy to reach out and have a chat with you, my darling. So my loves, as we begin the process of wrapping up this, if you have a question for me, if you have a comment for me, if you want to share something with me, this is an opportunity to do that. Like I said, I'll only say your first name, and that way people won't know who you are. The bonus about being on here is I do believe that all of the chat vanishes. I can't see the chat after this ends, so people can't see your questions, but we try and keep this anonymous. Down the track, I will do some private Q&As behind closed doors where people can't see us, and I can do those here on YouTube, but there will be private events where you're invited, and we can do them privately. I still have you in my chats from way back. Okay, that's good. All right, well then you can send me a message, love. Just send me a message and I will respond to you. All right, so if you've got questions, let me know. If you've got comments, let me know. For my gorgeous members, I have been out in my garden. The weather has been warm here, like really warm. We came out of winter and it was quite cold, and we're now coming into some really warm spells. Although today's overcast and we're supposed to get rain, which the garden will appreciate. And I have been crazy in my garden. I've been taking cuttings. I've been planting lots of seeds because my intention is to have my little store in my community and have lots of seedlings and things from my garden and some of my cooked things for my local community to purchase from me. It's something I'm passionate about, gut health. And so my first batch of kombucha is all ready for its second ferment, which I'm so excited about. My sauerkraut is finished and it's very delicious and I'm enjoying it. My gut yogurt is still in process. We have done 4 batches and still not got the perfect batch, but fingers crossed I have the right milk now. So I'm hoping to get a really good, strong probiotic, microbe-loving yogurt. My partner has been unwell and had a big health scare recently and had antibiotics. So I'm really trying to get a lot of really nutritious things into his gut because, as you know, antibiotics can really mess with your gut. So we are working really hard to restore his gut health, which is really important for his recovery. So yeah, there's lots going on. To my members, we have a coaching call. It's Friday, tomorrow evening. So if you want to join me for that, you can, and pop your questions into the document. Everything's on the community page if you want to do that. I guess, that's that this week. I don't think there's much else. Today is going to be a busy day for me again. I'm still working on all of the new video series that I'm doing. I'm finishing off the After an Affair series, working on the Heartbreak to Healing series, and I'm going to have to re-record some of the first stuff because now I've got a bit more understanding of how things work on this medium, whereas I've originally done things over on Facebook. So I'm getting to understand, I'm getting to learn, and I'll redo them. I'm doing hard things, which I don't enjoy doing hard things, but I'm learning as I age that doing hard things has its reward. So it's worth doing hard things sometimes. Mary, my darling, I wish I could send you pictures. I have sourdough mini loaves, cinnamon rolls focaccia with sun-dried tomatoes and Kamala olives and rosemary. Oh, you can put them in the group and we'll just approve them and everybody can see them gorgeous. So you take a picture and stick it in the group and I'll come and have a look at it. My mouth is watering. I'm fasting hard at the moment. So I'm doing 20-hour fasts every day at the minute. I'm trying to help my health and my gut. And so my mouth is watering at the thought of that deliciousness. I haven't had any bread for 3 weeks. I love bread products. I love bread products, but I haven't had any bread for 3 weeks. Oh, and that just made me want to just stick my face in your food. I'm like cinnamon rolls, focaccia with sun-dried tomatoes and olives and rosemary. Oh. Mary, you speak my language, food. I'm going to try to make it to the next coaching call, even though it's at 4:30 a.m. Oh, goodness. Yeah, when I do the evening ones, it can be really challenging. I need it. See you then. Thank you again. Take care of yourself, my love. Take care of yourself. That's all right, Mary. I don't care. And, sometimes we have to live vicariously through the photographs. I can't eat it, but I can look at it, which will be very good. I haven't made any bread for a while, and I'm going to make some bread for my little stand. Like I said, in my community, I really want to be able to give back, and I have really healthy food in my garden. I've planted my grapes. They are dancing with joy. There are little buds and leaves coming off it. So I this year I'm really hoping amongst hopes that I get some grapes. I don't eat grapes from the store because they're just spread so heavily and they've got a lot of really nasties on them, even if you wash them. So I don't eat grapes in the store. So this will be the first grapes I've had in a long time if I get any bunches this year. My apples are just singing with joy in my old compost pit, and they've got so many flowers and buds on them, and some even have a few bits of fruit on, so I'm excited. I need to learn about apple trees because I don't know if you pick some of them off or not. My lime got transplanted. It needs a good prune. It was in the back of the yard and it needs a solid prune, but I finally got that in the compost pile, and it has lots of little buds of fruit. I don't know if it'll fruit, but I'm not going to prune it now because it's spring. I'll prune it when it gets into a more dormant state. What else have I put in the yard? Oh my goodness, everything. I have so many seedlings. I put all the sunflowers. I think I've put about 30 sunflowers in the yard so far. There'll be about 150 this year. So there's lots more to plant. I've got my cosmos in and they're looking delish. They're starting to do their little leaves are going on. My rudbeckia, which I've not had success with, has come up, and I do have some tiny little buds and leaves. So I'm hoping I'm going to get some rudbeckia. I have some beautiful coloured ones, so I'm hoping they will come through. My ranunculus is being divine, as you can see over there. Why is that there? There's my rudbeckia. There's my ranunculus, and I have some beautiful colours, like breathtaking colours, bright yellows, soft creams, that beautiful purpley pink. I have some soft pinks, oranges. They just got a black. I have one that's almost a black colour. They're just divine. So they're all growing, although they're tiny little flowers, which is unusual. My calla lilies have come up. They're a bit tiny. So yeah, I'm really loving and enjoying that. I've got some of because I'm going to be making some bouquets this year. I am growing some fill things to put in bouquets. That eucalyptus in that plant over there is from my yard. I grew it from seed, and I have quite the decent sized eucalyptus now, which needs to be potted out of my garden because it's in my veggie patch and it's now taking up space that I could use for vegetables. So it's going to have to go into a pot. So yeah, lots and lots going on in the garden. I'm making some cayenne pepper, which is so good for you, and I may even buy some capsules for that because it's a lot to take, the amount that can be helpful. So I may buy some of those little capsules you can buy and actually fill them with cayenne pepper and take those. So I've got lots of cayenne pepper. It hasn't started sprouting yet, but I trust that the roots are coming in before the shoots come out, as I do with everything in my life, trusting in the process. Gardening teaches us that, as well as my son. My son teaches me that. My son always teaches me that, whether I like it or not. So yeah, lots going on in the garden. The spring is coming. For us, that means, we get warmer weather, we get a lot more rain, and spring is really beautiful. Summer's quite ferocious. And a bit too hot for me, but I'm planning a break. I'm hoping to get a little break maybe in November, which will be so good to get away just for a few days, but to get away and just breathe now that everything seems to be coming to a conclusion. So I had a lot of different really challenging things in the last 2 years, and finally some of those are coming to an end. We've had a challenging year and some of those things are coming to an end, and so I have this real feeling of I can see the finish line. It's just over on the other side of the horizon. It's not too far away at all. And that is bringing me a lot of joy because it has been a bit of a tricky couple of years. And I am looking forward to the next chapter, whatever that brings. And who knows what that's going to bring, because, you're never guaranteed anything. You have to wait and see what happens next, So my loves, Sarah, focaccia bread sounds amazing. Do you have a recipe to share? I'm sure Mary will share the recipe in her post with all of the delicious pictures. My sourdough has been therapy. It's a new thing since my divorce. Yeah, I can't get sourdough to start. And even when I do, the bread smells funky and weird. So I don't know that I'll ever make sourdough properly. I love bread so much, and I love making focaccia. I love making any bread products actually, but I'm not at the minute, but it is good therapy, and I love fermenting for that. You know what I mean? I love gardening for that. These are things that have really helped me through incredibly difficult times. Learning how to give my kids and my partner food that I know is nurturing and nourishing, because, like I said, I've got a child with a life-threatening illness, and I have another child with additional needs, and having healthful food is huge, and food is medicine. What we eat and what we ingest really can be the difference between being really well and having good health and not. So for me, the gut health stuff is really important, and I will be talking more about that on my channel. My goal for the channel really is to have this be a lot of different things. It will have elements of my teaching, the hows, how to, the whys, why is this happening? It will have elements of that with all of the series for you to watch. In addition to that, my poetry, which I love and brings me such joy to write. I wrote a lovely one this week that I'll be putting up, but not this week. The one this week that's coming out is about the way my mother used to speak to me, and it's quite a yikes. It's quite a painful one. Hello, Beverly. How you going, my darling? It's quite a painful one this week about my mum and the way she used to talk to me. But sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're about the gym, or sometimes they're about my challenges with tech. Sometimes they're about being middle-aged. But this one this week is from my mum. But I wrote one this week about my partner. And so that will come up in a few weeks' time when the other ones have already gone onto the page. I love the video behind this week's words from my poem. So if you haven't seen my poem, they're on here. I think it's, I can't remember what my playlist is called. I think it's All the Things We Grow Through or something like that. But it's a space where I share from a different perspective, in a different kind of format, the poems that inspire my life, and they talk about the good, the bad, and everything in between that's happened in my life. And from what I have heard from all of you, you quite enjoyed the poems and you get a bit of a kick out of them, which is really nice. You're in Lincoln, that's nice. I've been to Lincoln many times actually. So yes, and then the next part of this channel will be about, I've got stuff around midlife and transition, and I'm also going to do stuff around gut health and food and my garden and all of those things, because I think this channel I would like to be about me holistically, about the work that I do, the woman that I am, and the things that bring me joy. And so I'll be sharing all of those on this channel in the coming months. So if you are interested in any of that stuff, do pop along. You'll have my poems, a lot of tearjerkers. They are, Sarah, this week's is a tearjerker. This week's, I cried a lot when I was writing it. It's about the way my mum used to talk to me and the words she used to say, and how those words are a bit sticky and they stick on my body and my mind and my soul sometimes, and I have to remind myself that she wasn't right. So that's the poem for this week, and I just adore it so much. I really appreciate all of you who come along and comment on my videos. That really helps the algorithm, which is just ones and zeros. Can you believe? I know this because I know programmers. That says this is worthy and this is not worthy. And I don't take it personally. I don't think my work is worthy or unworthy, but I know that in a world that really prefers crisis, drama, mean, hateful, horrible stuff, it is hard to be a space of hope and light and joy and inspiration, because the internet just doesn't like that. And so when people comment on my stuff, when they put a thumbs up on my stuff, when you play through my stuff and listen to my playlists, when you recommend to a friend or share the link with a friend or share the link on your Facebook or your Instagram or anywhere, put it in an email to someone, that really makes a difference to my work and really helps me reach women who I know need my work, because I've been doing this a long time, and every time I've run the Heartbreak to Healing workshop, I have thousands and thousands and thousands, up to 7,000 women at a time who attend those live workshops. So I know for a fact that there are lots of women who need the support. And I think now more than ever, when the world is challenging right now, on top of all of the regular things like partners leaving, affairs happening, adult children and the challenges, or teenagers and the challenges of trying to balance things, trying to be, a parent and a partner and pay the bills and it's just really tough, I think. There's a gorgeous Miss Andrea. Hello, darling. Good evening to all. Just watched the second coaching call this morning, and good news. Yes, it was. I'm a bit jet lagged, so able to get to join you. That's really good. Well, it's nice to see you. I'm pleased you're jet lagged because you got to spend some time with us. I've been doing a lot of watching and sharing videos, and I appreciate that so much, Sarah. Like, it really makes such a huge difference. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. That really, really helps me. Hit the notification bell. It tells you every single time a new video comes out, which means you don't miss a thing. And of course, you know, thumbs up or thumbs down. I don't care. Give me a thumbs up though, if you can, that helps. And watching the videos is one of the best things you can do. Is watching a video from start to finish just makes such a huge difference, because it says to YouTube, this stuff is worth watching. And that means YouTube goes, hey, other person who's similar to this person, you might really benefit from watching this. So yeah, it helps me enormously. So I do appreciate you. You lot are delicious. You know you are. This side, you know you are. I was explaining the love heart to a neighbor the other day. You know, this one, which is no effort in my opinion. A love heart like this is no effort in my opinion. Give me one of these bad boys. And we were discussing when my partner and I are fighting, it's an upside down love heart. And when it's a big fight, it's a broken upside down love heart. And it's like, uh-oh, uh-oh. So I've digressed, but don't I always digress? This is part and parcel of the chat. We just meander wherever we go. If you've got a question, pop it in real quick. I'm going to head off in a minute. The last of the whales are migrating back. It has been wonderful to see the mamas and the babies who I've seen going down the coast and having the time of their lives, splashing big and just being delicious. The water has been really flat a couple of days and really windy a few others. So we get to see the big splashes. My two young builders, well, the builder who's been working on my house and his two young lads who work with him came yesterday, giving me a big hug, which was so nice because we haven't seen them for a while because we're nearly finished. And I fed them for months while they were here, and they're just gorgeous boys. So they came yesterday, and that was just such a treat to say hello to them. And we have finished all of the renovations from an external point of view from other people, and now we just have our own last bits and pieces to do. So that is really exciting. Look at Jolanta. She found it. She's found the emoji. When I open my membership on YouTube, I have actually created some really beautiful emojis for members, and which I had a lot of fun creating. You know, I love creating things. So I've got those for you when the membership online opens up. You've been to Alaska and seen tons of humpbacks and ochres. Andrew, you're traveling a lot these days. You were in Europe not that long ago. You've been to Alaska now. Wow. Aren't they delicious? Like, I love whales. I think they're my spirit animal. I just do. They're elegant and beautiful and just, oh God, so divine and peaceful and gentle and just beautiful. So yeah, they migrate up the coast from May and down the coast this time of year. And it's just so lovely because I have a set of binoculars on my deck so that I can see the whales jumping and splashing and blowing water everywhere. And it's just the bomb. Like, I love it so much. All right, my loves, it has been fun sharing this day with you. Sorry about yesterday. I had some tech hitches, but today we've managed to get it all working. You know how it is sometimes. So it was good to see you all. Take the best care of yourself. You know, remember that roots grow before shoots are seen, and that just because we can't feel things changing, they are. And it may be that your roots are really setting deeply into the ground to bring more stability to your life. So trust in the process. I will see you all again next week. And for those who are in my membership, I will see you tomorrow in our private chat. And all the details of that are in the community, so you can go and leave questions if you need to for that. And of course, I'd love to see you tomorrow and have a look at your gorgeous face. All right, my darlings, take the very best care of yourself. Take it easy in the coming days. Have a very, very yummy weekend. Take care, my loves. Bye-bye.